So every time I feel kind of fear or a deep emotion, I feel like, okay, I'm getting close to the shadow, let me write something. Because the shadow wants to be hidden. So anytime you feel kind of fear or shame, that's the time the shadow is speaking. I started taking portraits back in 2014 with Autograph ABP, actually. I think I was encouraged to do it because I'm an actor and I feel quite comfortable in front of the camera. But the more I started taking pictures, the more I just started to understand myself better. It freezes a moment in time, an authentic moment in time that helped me self-reflect. So that's kind of why I fell in love with it. In The Body Remembers, accessing the unconscious happens through movement, allowing your body to speak. And that's very much a continuation of what's happening in ego death. I'm allowing my body, my mind, my whole being to speak, especially the repressed, shameful parts of myself. So Body Remembers has been quite instrumental in this project. I think what made me apply for Jerwood Photoworks Award was I really trust Jerwood and I really trust Photoworks. They're really interested in nurturing creatives and developing their practice. It's not always about the outcome, it's really about developing the artist's career long-term and giving them confidence. So the project I'm developing is called Ego Death. The work is inspired by Carl Jung's concept of the shadow. Carl Jung believed to compensate for authentic traits that we have that have been deemed unacceptable by our peers, family members, we create characters that are polar opposite to those traits. And all of this is about being loved, really, and being accepted. Whatever behaviors you've been told will make you more loving, accepted, you kind of adopt these traits. So for me personally, creativity was never something that I was encouraged to do at all, mostly because immigrant parents, they wanted me to survive. So I really suppressed that part of myself. But until you engage with the shadow, the repressed part of your personality, you won't really have peace. So the goal of the project is really to have peace with myself, I guess. So I was reading for months those books. Carl Jung, I had pictures of Carl Jung in my house and images and paintings. So a huge amount of the project was reading, actually. And then the second part was free writing, painting, drawing, understanding these characters. And really the last part of the project is taking those images. So I think my process is often in my studio reading by myself. And then at the end, all of those culminate into these images that you see. I think there was one key image about the shadow which really struck me. It was the image of Jekyll and Hyde, the first performance of Jekyll and Hyde. And that double exposure feels like that's what symbolizes what the shadow is. Part of the visual language of Ego Death is this kind of blue tin. And that's a reference to Moonlight, Barry Jenkins' film Moonlight. And this idea of we often have versions of ourselves, but there's always truth and authenticity at its core. I've created or discovered 6 characters within my unconscious that I really want to bring to the fore. So one of my characters is the O daughter. So I write from her perspective for a while. And then I'll embody her. So I'll wear a piece of costume, some music that I think that character likes, and just allow myself to be here for a while whilst I'm just shooting these pictures. So that's how the process has been incredibly cathartic, heavy, because it's difficult listening to these characters, but they're part of me and I just want to accept them. The idea of vulnerability and strength, it feels so synonymous to me. Being honest with yourself, forget other people, but being honest with yourself allows you to have so much freedom. And you know, as a black woman, sometimes it's dangerous to be vulnerable because of survival or fear. But for me, I've never felt as strong being vulnerable. So I really want that to always be in my work. I think I make work for me and to understand myself better. And all of my work has to be cathartic or kind of revelationary to myself. And I'm so grateful that it impacts other people. But the only reason I make art is for myself and to show compassion and love to myself. So that's really how Ego Death has been developed. It's just to understand myself better And there's parts of my personality that I've never embraced and I've never shown love to. But now I'm like, no, I'm kind of grateful for myself. Like, I'm pretty all right. So I just want to celebrate myself, because for so long I've never done that. So that's really the heart of the project.